All right, Democrats, we got to talk. Y'all know what really pisses me off is I feel like everyone on the right, they're like super quick and super fast to defend Donald Trump, his racism, his nonsense, non-existing policies, his non-existing healthcare program. They're really quick to defend the top of their ticket. But I feel like with Democrats are just kind of like shy and quiet about what exactly the Biden administration has accomplished. Are we really about to act like it wasn't the Biden administration who increased the child tax credit that a lot of people benefited from earlier this year? Are we going to act like it wasn't the Biden administration that put a cap to insulin for all the people who are suffering with diabetes? Are we going to act like it isn't the Biden administration who has unemployment the lowest it's been in a very long time? What about the infrastructure bill that a lot of people like to forget about has actually provided for clean water for a lot of people in like the rural communities? Or not only that, what about, are we going to act like it wasn't the Biden administration that made it easier for you to be able to move and get the home you want because they can no longer gouge you and charge you 3 times, make you show proof of 3 times your rent? What about the unprecedented funding of HBCUs? And please don't even get me started on the border, because it seems like everyone likes to forget the fact that there was a bipartisan border bill that was the strongest border bill since probably before our parents was born, but it was killed because Donald Trump wanted to run on the fact that the border was broken. So the whole right now is yelling and raving about the fact that there's all these illegal crossings and stuff like that. But when you had the opportunity to do something about it, you guys showed that you are not trying to govern at all. You just wanted the issue just so you can try and run on it and get more. Are we really going to act like Donald Trump isn't a 34-count felon? Are we going to act like he wasn't found liable for sexual assault? We're just going to act like none of these things are not valid reasons to keep him out of the Oval Office. We have a lot to run on. We have a lot of great policies on our side, a lot of great ideas on our side. And I feel like it has to be us that shout in those policies, that are shouting those accomplishments, so people aren't confused with all the misinformation that Trump is putting out. And another thing that just really pisses me off is apparently nobody knows what biracial means now. Apparently, no one knows what it means to be raised and influenced by more than one culture. And now Donald Trump's main plan is to divide the black community, because this idiot feels that if he divides the black community, then he may have a chance of staying out of jail. And because a lot of people do not actually read and a lot of people just go with what they see on TikTok, he may very well have a chance. But just like in 2020, we are not about to let it happen in 2024. Everyone's talking about Kamala's past, being the district attorney, and how apparently she was locking people up for smoking weed, locking black people up for smoking weed. I hate even saying the term black people because I feel like nothing in politics should be broken down into color in the first place. But because everyone's going with the narrative of division this year, does no one remember that weed was illegal in the early 2000s? Do people not understand that as a prosecutor, you are supposed to prosecute? I don't care if you're black, blue, white, brown, gray. If you break the law, you should be prosecuted. Like, what are you talking about? What are you saying? And then everyone's saying that she's not experienced. Do you guys forget who Kamala Harris is and why she became the VP? She was a lawyer, a prosecutor, a district attorney, a senator. Now she is the vice president of America. And it's only because she's a black woman that she needs a full bullet point of credentials to even prove that she's qualified to be the president. If it weren't for Google, a lot of you wouldn't even be able to name me 3 prior vice presidents. Are we really going to act like Donald Trump wasn't sued in the early 1970s because he did not want to rent his property to black people? Are we going to act like Donald Trump did not put out a full op-ed on the Central Park 5 in the early 1990s because he automatically assumed that they had to have been guilty because they were black? Are we going to act like Donald Trump did not tell the Proud Boys to stand back and stand by just in case he didn't win the election, which he did not? People don't understand that we aren't doing this just for ourselves. I have nephews, I have nieces, I have people that we need to protect. We need to make sure that our loved ones are being raised in the same world with the same freedoms that we had when we were growing up. Donald Trump has made it clear that his intentions with the LGBT community is to get all of those rights rolled back. Donald Trump has even made it clear a lot of people on the right don't like the idea of interracial marriage. This November, we have a very, very, very clear contrast. We have a very, very intelligent, educated, experienced woman running for president. And on the other end, we have Donald Trump, 34-count felon, sexual abuser, rapist. I'll say it. I don't care. racist, bigot, there's no way you can cut it. And y'all know one more thing that just really, really pisses me off too, is that there's a lot of people in the black community who are talking about Kamala Harris and the fact that with the drug leak and stuff like that. And you know what? I want to 100% go with your narrative. I want to go with the fact that she had 100% knowledge of everything that was going on. I'm going to go with the full narrative. My thing is this. You guys have went through her whole career. You guys have scoured through all of her information, everything she's done her whole career, right? And the only thing you guys can find is that issue. But if you just look in the past 6 months of all the shiesty stuff that Donald Trump has done, and the fact that you guys are so normalized to it, that is all you guys have to even possibly say about Kamala Harris. But the fact that this man has literally been convicted, have been found to be a sexual abuser, and no one bats an eye. No one cares at all. The fact that this man literally would not even rent to black people. Our grandparents would have not been worthy enough to stay at his property in the early 70s. This is the same man saying Mexicans are rapists and murderers just because they're Mexican. This is the man who inspired a full insurrection on our country. And all you have to say is Kamala Harris did one thing. All of the stuff Donald Trump has ever did, all of his bigoted ways are just completely out the window because you happen to catch wind of one thing that you dislike about Kamala Harris. It's sad. You guys need to do your research. You need to pick up a book. You need to read. You need to fact check. You need to go to independent sources. You need to go to multiple. Go to the ones on the left. Go to the ones on the right, and you come up with your own independent train of. It's called critical thinking. Do not believe anything and everything you hear. So yeah, although Kamala might not be perfect, right? Although she is to me almost perfect, I think Kamala is a great candidate. She may have her flaws, just like every politician, but because there's one or two things that you found out about Kamala that you dislike, you all of a sudden want to write her off and all of a sudden want to go straight to a racist white man who's made it very clear what his intentions are. He said he wants to abolish the Constitution. You guys ever think about the next Constitution that he writes and what rules he would want in that Constitution? And do you think you will be prioritized in that Constitution? You guys really got to start thinking, man. Really got to start thinking. Really got to start doing your own research. But, this is enough for me right now. Guys, please, please, please follow me so we can continue to talk about it.